Welcome back to the channel. Today we will travel through the pages of What If Issei Awaken the Boosted Gear Early Season 1 Final. The link to the story will be in the description below, and if you want an update of the current series, join the Discord. Now let's start. Chapter 47 Issei's Heavy Gamble. Are you ready for this, drag? Issei said to the dragon that dwelled within his gauntlet. Of course. Let's show the world once again, partner, show them you are the greatest Red Dragon Emperor to have ever existed by defeating the impossible once again. Drake said as the king piece began to enter Issei's chest. I got it. Issei said as he prepared for what would be the riskiest move of his life. All of a sudden, Issei dropped to his knees and clutched fiercely to his clothing. You can do it, partner. Endure the pain and rise to the next level. Drake said as Issei experienced unbearable and almost death-wishing pain. It hurts. It hurts. Fuck, this hurts. This by far is the most painful experience in both of my lives. But, compared to the pain I would have to endure with every second of every day. In a world without Rias, this pain is nothing to me. I will survive this and save Rias. This won't be enough to break my promise to her. Issei said as he tried his hardest to put up with the physical and mental suffering his body and mind was undergoing. You're wasting time, you fool. Even if you were able to defeat me before, there is no way that a punk like you could become a high-class devil just by pushing your body to its absolute limits. Razor said as Issei cried out in agony. Shut up. I will save Rias. Just you watch, you damn pervert. This power will not beat me. I will live. Issei said as his eyes suddenly became lifeless and his vulnerable skull hit the ground. It's just as I said, you stupid brat. Ria's fate now belongs to me. Razor said with an evil grin. Meanwhile, with the Devil Army finally on the battlefield along with the Phoenix and Citri household taking care of the rest of the enemy forces, the Gremory household made their way over to the mastermind behind this diabolical scheme. It's useless, Urziches, you cannot defeat me. Euclid said as Urziches prepared for another attack. Lord Urziches. What happened to Rias and Issei-kun? Akeno inquired as her and the rest of the peerage reached the Demon Lord. Ria's power along with her evil piece have been removed from her. Urziches said, making the Gremories look on in despair. No way, Kiba said as he aggressively clutched his sword. I know it's terrible news. But as we speak, Issei is trying to absorb the power of the king piece I gave him in order to save Rias by bringing her back as a modified queen piece. Urziches said, now finally looking over at his disciple. Issei-senpai has fallen. Kaneko said, leading the others to look also. Akeno decided to assume her duty as substitute leader and took action. Lord Urziches, please go over to Issei and protect him from enemy forces. We will take care of Euclid Lucifuge and hold him off for as long as we can. Akeno said, making Urziches shocked. That's impossible. You can't defeat him. Even if you all attacked as one, he would defeat you all. Urziches said, making Akeno instantly retort. We have to believe in Issei-kun. Like you said, Issei has found his resolve and is risking everything to save Rias and everyone else. After hearing you say that, we will put our complete trust in the fact that Issei will succeed and bring Rias back to us. So we will do what we can to hold off those who plan to get in his way. You need to protect Issei until he has finished this trial. As it stands, he is vulnerable and in danger. Akeno said, making Urziches finally smile. I understand. But don't aim to defeat him. Just hold him off until Issei is finished. Urziches said as he created a magic teleportation circle. Leave it to us. Kiba said as he and the rest of the group prepared for battle. You put so much faith in the pawn of Rias. Why do you put so much faith in him? To the point where you would give up your lives to protect him? Euclid said, making all of them smile. Because he is Issei, they all said at the same time. Issei-kun is showing us all his dedication to us all by throwing himself into death itself. That's all the reason that I need to draw my blade against you. Kiba said as he took a stance. I have always believed in Issei-sen ever since the day we met. Whenever we found ourselves in trouble and at the end of the line, Issei always came through for us and protected us all. So I will not insult him by losing my faith in him. Asia said as she activated her sacred gear. Issei-kun saved me from my past and has proven to be a man I can easily lay my life down for. I will not let you get in Issei-kun's way. Akeno said. We will not let you pass Euclid Lucifuge. They all said as they built a defensive line between Issei and this imposter dragon emperor. Interesting, then I will just have to annihilate you, so Issei has nothing to save. Euclid said as he began to boost his power. Everyone be on your guard. Remember, he has most of Issei's and Ria's power. Keep your distance and only attack when it is necessary. Akeno said, making them all unify. Yes, Vice President. They all shouted as they began their operation. Elsewhere, Hayato Issei found himself inside of his sacred gear once again. The overwhelming power of the King Evil Piece was coming down on the Red Dragon Emperor like a massive meteor. And his body felt as if it had been pierced by 1,000 knives from every direction. The white void had not a soul nor any kind of life form in sight. All Issei could see ahead of him was a huge red door. Issei proceeded forward trying to endure the impossibly mega mind strain and the piercing feeling each time he moved a single limb. He was determined to press onward despite this, whilst he endured the unbearable pain. Do you really think you can survive this? You're just a child who is being too selfish and who is in denial of what is in fact reality. A voice which was instantly identified as the devious and tormenting Rainer. You think you are on my level? You are nothing. You cannot channel this demonic power. It's the end of the line, you damn brat. The next intruder turned out to be Razor, who donned his wedding suit in which he wore at his wedding ceremony. The red dragon will die here today. And I will remain the strongest. Volley said as he activated his balance break. You're a nobody, you damn low-class devil. You can't save anyone. You'll end up alone once again and you will be helpless when you lose everything and everyone you care for. Ryu Tatsuo said as he equipped his emerald dragon armor and his shield and sword. You're not a real dragon. You're a weakling who I will tear to shreds. Grendel said as he prepared a firebolt blast. Suddenly, 10 green orbs appeared in the dimension and automatically took on a metamorphosis. And now, Issei had 10 juggernaut drive dragons standing tall in front of him. You'll be crushed by the dragons of domination. You will die today. There is no escape. All of Issei's opponents who chose to stand in his way attacked Issei all at once, unleashing their most powerful attacks towards him. Issei cried out in pain as he took each and every attack directly. The Red Dragon Emperor suffered from severe and critical burns from Razor Phoenix and Crime Force Dragon Grendel. He was impaled by Ryu Tatsuo's Dragon Slayer and Rainer's Holy Spear. And to top it all off, he suffered life-threatening injuries from his power-raging ancestor's Longina Smasher. Issei began to collapse but slammed his foot into the ground, preventing himself from falling. I won't fall. It's true that this pain is impossible to simply ignore. I'm not going to lie, it feels like most of my vital organs have been destroyed and I definitely feel like I'm dying. I know this may be an illusion, but I am truly suffering right now. But so what? Issei yelled as he stood tall and removed both Ryu's blade and Rainer's spear. You think that your attacks or words will stop me from achieving what I have to accomplish? You could attack me until my body is nothing but a pile of blood, but there is no damn way in hell that I am going to stay down. I'll keep standing and take your attacks head on. Do you honestly think that this pain will stop me from saving her? I will endure all of this pain and strain that you are torturing me with. Your words and your strength. Neither of them have enough power to stop me from becoming a high-class devil and saving Rias. Be gone from here. I have no intention whatsoever of making the woman I love wait for me any longer. Didn't you hear me? I said begging. Issei yelled as he successfully disposed of the mirages that plagued his mind and body with his immense and all-powerful dragon aura. Issei suddenly felt the pain he was so awfully experiencing had finally left his body, and with Ria's door right in front of him, the young dragon wielder raced towards that now functioning door. Issei smiled when he saw that beautiful shade of red and that rich fragrance which enriched the room. Issei. Issei said as he kissed her on the lips. Issei, are we dead? Rias asked in a worrisome tone. Of course not. Far from it, Rias. I'm here to bring you back. Issei said as he looked her in the eyes. But can we win this battle? I can see our friend struggling to face him. And he easily smashed through your armor. Don't worry, Rias, I'm going to keep my promise that I made to you. I will never let you be sad and I will stay by your side forever. Issei said, making Rias tear up. Thank you, Issei. Honestly, I was scared that you weren't coming. Rias replied, making Issei grin. Of course I would come for you, Rias. I said it before, didn't I? Time and time again, I will always come to save you. Issei said, making Rias smile. Let's go back, Issei. Rias said as she stood directly in front of him. Yes, Rias. Issei said, now pulling her in close to him with a hug. Issei's chest began to glow a crimson red and his body began to feel. Razor said as he reached for the queen clutched tightly in Issei's fist. All of a sudden, Razor stepped back abruptly when the believed to be dead Issei stood up tall. Mode change complete. Commencing awakening. Drake yelled, now causing the boosted gear to shine brightly. Ah! Issei yelled as his crimson aura began to expand and overflow from his body. Impossible. Did that brat manage it? Razor said as Issei's power continued to increase way beyond what everyone believed to be impossible heights. Issei became consumed by an incredibly colossal tower of flames which covered throughout the vast area. This resulted in numerous people having to evacuate to avoid suffering damage and possibly death from this exerted demonic and dragon energy. Awakening successful. Cardinal Crimson promotion. Cardinal Crimson King mode. Drake yelled as the now hidden Red Dragon Emperor started to become visible. All eyes were on the security as he now emerged from the flames. Kiba, Zenobia, Kaneko, Gasper, Asia and Akeno suddenly felt a change occur inside of them. Images of the Security rushed into their minds now marking their brand new master and King Hayato Issei. Issei's metamorphosis now became visible. Hayato Issei's dragon height had now become taller and his upper torso of his armor had now increased in mass. Issei's two powerful dragon wings had now been transformed into more powerful and gigantic proud dragon wings which now were supported by his new physique. Did Issei-senpai fail? Gasper questioned as he feared the worst. No Gasper, it's the opposite. I can feel it inside of me. Issei-kun has without a doubt become our new king. Kiba said as he and the others stared at their new master. But I can't sense his power and it was so obvious earlier. Kaneko said as Issei remained where he stood. It's not possible to sense his power right now, Kaneko-chan. We won't be able to feel his power until he chooses to show it. He's on a completely different level now. Akeno said as she stared at her friend still unconscious. So what if you became the Gremory's new king? I'll just use my device on you next. Fire. Euclid said as he prepared to steal Issei's power next. With a blink of an eye, Issei disappeared from everyone's sight and within an instant reappeared again with a machine that was so skillfully hidden and extremely reinforced was so demolished. This being the only evidence that Issei had moved at all. Impossible, just when did you? Euclid said as Issei approached the gobsmacked Razor and his out-of-action fiancée. Do you think I'll let you revive her dragon shot? Euclid said as he blasted the Security with his own technique. A cloud of smoke erupted as the attack made a direct hit on the still target. Euclid laughed maniacally after his attack successfully hit the Red Dragon Emperor. Only to stop when he saw Issei with his back to him and not a scratch on his perfectly new and improved crimson armor. I Issei Hayato, command by my name. To the Ria's Gremory. To allow thy soul to descend to this earth once more. To become my queen who transcends all in her beauty. Come back to this world again and stay forever by my side. I grant you with a new life. Now be reborn, my queen Ria's Gremory. Issei stated, completing the servant ritual. Issei held Ria's in his arms and kissed her in the forehead before gently placing her back down again. Did it work, Ajuka? Issei asked, getting a smile in response. Yes, very nicely done, Security. Her body is recovering its strength and her power has been restored. Her life is no longer in danger. Ajuka said, making Issei smile and place back on his helmet. Don't get cocky, Hayato Issei. You still cannot beat me. Euclid said as he boosted his power continuously. Let's finish this once and for all, Euclid. I'm going to smash that phony armor of yours to pieces and force you to surrender. Issei said, now displaying his newly formed demonic aura. There is only room for one, Security, Drake said as the two adversaries prepared for battle. Chapter 48. Hail to the new king. A crash of crimson. The crimson heavenly dragon I possess within me, rise up to become a king. Issei and Drake said in unison as the new unlocked power began to resonate throughout the atmosphere. Amazing. Issei-kun really did become stronger. His power is incredible. Kiba said as he used his sword to prevent him from falling. Issei's peerage gathered near him as they stared at their master in awe, with their eyes filled with hope and determination to serve him. Everyone, thank you for your help in saving Ria's. But if it's okay with you, I think it's time for your king to deal some payback for all of your pain. Issei said as he increased his power further with the boosted gear. Issei-senpai, we can still fight. And besides, there are still loads of enemies that could get in your way. Kaneko said, making Issei smile inside his helmet. I see, well then, I will just have to give you some encouragement. Dragon King's blessing, Issei uttered, immediately surrounding the area behind him with an emerald dome. Within seconds, the Gremories were covered in a powerful but gentle aura. As they found themselves being gifted with invigorating and new levels of power. Kaneko's power increase was the most obvious as she now stood before her comrades with a completely different appearance. The young Nekomata found herself now completely startled as she found her body had taken a definite change. The Rook of the Gremories realized that she had grown older and her height and bust size had dramatically increased. But along with this mind-boggling change came a wicked power boost to make things that much more convenient for the surprised fighter. Amazing, I can feel the power flowing through my veins. Along with Issei's warmth. Kaneko said as she embraced the boosted strength and magical ability inside her. What are your orders, my king? Akeno said with a mischievous and daring expression. Showing clearly that she enjoyed referring to Issei in such a manner. Everyone. Take care of the remaining forces of Euclid's army. I will deal with Euclid myself. Issei commanded, sending his comrades into battle. Zenobia, Grendel is still giving the student council a hard time. Let's show the crime force dragon why it is that his kind used to fear the knights. Kiba said, picking Graham up once again and activating his balance break. So now all of his dragon knights were also carrying powerful blades. Yes, I'm with you. Zenobia said as she and the rest of the Gremory split into groups. Leaving Issei and Euclid with a whole terrain to battle in. Was that really a good idea, Security? Giving your friends all of your power, I mean. Euclid said, now speaking in an arrogant tone to suggest he had already foreseen his victory. All of my power. No, that's not true. Issei said, instantly vanishing from Euclid's sight. The silver-haired dragon imposter suddenly found himself experiencing agonizing pain as his armor was instantly pulverized by an immediate reappearing Issei. That was only a small fraction of my new power. Issei said, finishing his sentence as he easily shattered Euclid's armor into pieces. Damn you, Security. Euclid said as he felt naked without his armor to protect him. Hurry up and re-equip your armor. I'm nowhere near close enough to finishing crushing you just yet. Issei said as Euclid quickly reassembled his fake imitation armor. Don't think for a second that just because you have become a high-class devil that you will finish this so quickly. Don't underestimate me, you power-hungry fool. Euclid said, now firing a dragon shot at Issei. Once again, Issei was gone. Out of sight, frightening the now weaker Euclid. Ha. I think you're forgetting something, Issei Hayato, remember this. I have all of your abilities. Euclid laughed maniacally as he placed his fake boosted gear arm towards his eyes and used Issei's boosted gear technique. To Euclid's joy, Issei suddenly came into sight and a dragon shot was now heading his way. However, the moment Euclid caught sight of the Dragon King, Issei vanished once again. Impossible. I had you in my sights locked. Euclid said as Issei once again appeared in front of him. You think you can beat me with your stolen sacred gear abilities? Well, I've got news for you, buddy. My buddy Drake here is boosting my power way faster and even higher than your weak replica. Issei said, uppercutting Euclid into the sky. The boosted gear responds to the heart and will of the user. And there is no way you can match the power I harbor inside this special sacred gear. My resolve is and always will be stronger than your pathetic copy. Issei said as he instantly appeared above Euclid Lucifuge and smashed him back down into the ground again. Issei's opponent hit the ground hard and once again, his replica scale mail was easily annihilated. After a struggle to stand up on his feet again, Euclid restored his armor but found he couldn't restore a piece around his left leg. Looks like your sacred gear invention is reaching its end. Issei said, making Euclid frustrated. Damn you. How dare you? How dare you do this to me, you damn monster. Issei's foe said as he, after a struggle, restored the final piece of armor. Give up, Euclid Lucifuge, no matter how many forces you bring. Or how much power you steal from me. You cannot defeat me. Issei proudly stated as a strange aura began to surround the enraged silver-haired demon. Well then, let's see how well you do against the power of the one you cherish so dearly. Euclid yelled as he unleashed Ria's Gremory's stolen destructive power, which hit Issei with a direct hit. Ha. Not so fast now, are you, the arrogant demon said as the smoke began to blow away from the dragon behind it. Lucifuge's expression of joy and victory instantly vanished the moment Issei became visible again. The earth began to shake tremendously as Issei's crimson aura grew to exponential levels and began to stain the battlefield, including the skies in his crimson glow. And to Euclid's greatest despair, Issei still remained standing without a scratch on him. How dare you? How dare you use Ria's power against me, you bastard? Issei yelled, recalling when Ryu did the exact same thing to him. Graphia's little brother's actions and the drastic consequences he was about to face became a reality the instant Issei smashed his highly boosted fist into his face. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. Issei roared as he prepared his own dragon shot. You like that then, how about this? Extinguished star. Euclid created Ria's most powerful but slow technique. However, this technique worked as a black hole and destroyed all within its path. Boost. 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 Boost, 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 boost. Super Dragon Shot. Issei yelled as he unleashed a mega blast towards the victim. Don't underestimate me. Euclid yelled back as he once again tried to strengthen his own power. An atomic explosion erupted on the battlefield as both attacks smashed into each other. Which meant a lucky break for Issei's friends who felt it was best to get as far away from Issei's battle as possible. Despite Ria's believed to be indestructible attack, Issei still remained standing. Whilst the unlucky and outclassed old Satan faction member lay on the ground with his armor once again eviscerated. His limbs coated within his own blood. "Get up, you bastard. I'm not finished dealing you the king's punishment for hurting my friends, not to mention my queen." Issei yelled as Euclid struggled to his feet once again. Issei closed in on Euclid in a blink of an eye. The enraged Red Dragon Emperor dealt excruciating and critical damage to the now punching bag Euclid Lucifuge with a 50-punch combo. Issei followed his punching barrage with a painful high kick to the traitor's jaw, sending him sky high. The Securite met with a wounded demon in the sky and sent him flying in the opposite direction when he drove a foot into his gut. Issei next, using his dragon wings after he flapped them vigorously, sent shockwaves cutting into the target's skin. Just as Euclid was about to vanish from the atmosphere, Issei wrapped his tail around his neck and pulled him back. "Get over here." Issei pulled Euclid in close and fired another super dragon shot, but this time in such close range that he wouldn't be able to escape its dynamic power. "Ahhhhh." The tortured demon cried out as he hit the ground after suffering severe damage. Issei landed on the ground and took this opportunity to sense out for his comrades to check on their well-being. Once he was satisfied that his gifted power to them was keeping them safe, the brown-haired teen reverted his attention to Euclid, who was now pulling a bottle from his pocket. Issei instantly recognized the bottle to be a vial of phoenix tears. However, Issei didn't stop his opponent from recovering. He waited patiently for Euclid to regenerate. With his wounds healed and his strength restored, Euclid vaulted up instantly. However, he was clearly pissed and exhausted. The silver-haired villain struggled to catch his breath as he narrowly escaped death. "You think you're so fast? Well, I've got news for you, damn dragon. I'm fast too," Euclid said as he reappeared holding a blade towards the beautiful skin of the still unconscious Ria's Gremory. Issei remained where he stood. His anger ferociously building inside of him as he removed his helmet. "If I'm going to die here, I'm at least going to accomplish my goal." "Now stay right there, Hayato Issei, while I kill you," Euclid said, stopping his sentence short once Issei removed his helmet, glaring at him with a look alone that spelled his death. "I'm only going to say this once, so pay attention. Put down the sword. Take it away from my fiance's neck before I fucking rip off your arm and the rest of your limbs." Issei shouted, striking fear into the believed to be fear-free demon. "Stay back," Euclid yelled as he 1 second later felt his body had suddenly became lighter. Unfortunately for him, a feeling of faintness began to come over him as well. Euclid looked over to his right where his hand was holding a sword to Ria's Gremory's neck. However, not only was Ria's Gremory now in Issei's free arm, but so was Euclid's right arm, which its blood was now staining the ground as his dropped above it in Issei's other arm. "Damn you. You filthy creature. I'll annihilate you. You monster," Euclid yelled as he struggled to stop the blood pouring out of his empty arm socket. "You won't die from that wound alone. And besides, the only thing we need to bring back with us is your head, so you can spill all of your intentions to us. Allegra arm will not be missed," Issei said with a frightening glare, making Euclid feel as if he was looking at death itself. "Wait for me, my love, I will finish this now," Issei said as he quickly transported Ria's to a safe location and then returned back to the field of battle. "I will destroy you. I will end your existence with every ounce of magic power I possess," Euclid yelled as he began to concentrate both his copied dragon shot ability and the destruction powers he stole from Ria's. "Everyone. Brace for impact," Issei yelled as he began to make preparations to end this fight once and for all. Issei called on the power of his Bishop Blaster cannons, which were now greater in mass and power storage. "I will hit you with everything I have. And you will be killed by me. I will take back my sister and wipe out the Gremory clan," the white demon said as his attack grew larger in power. Issei made his counter-strike preparations and began charging both his Crimson Dragon Cannon Strike and his Bishop Blasters. "Die." Euclid fired his Ultra Dragon shot towards Issei, who was finalizing his attack. "Sorry Euclid, but this is where it all ends. Crimson Dragon King's Blaster." Issei roared as both his Crimson Dragon Cannon and Bishop Blaster combined after they both fired and molded together to create a colossal blast which practically consumed and swallowed up the power of Euclid's weak attack in comparison. Euclid cried out in pain as the attack swallowed him whole and blinded the area. Once the light show in the sky disappeared and the sky returned to its original purple shade, Euclid was now laying on the ground, with what was left of his previous consciousness now faded and gone. "Surziches," Issei said, alerting the nearby demon lord. "Yes, Issei-kun," Surziches replied, feeling it was safe now Issei's aura had simmered down. "Please take Euclid into custody," Issei said as Surziches approached him. "Of course. But what are you going to do?" Surziches asked Issei, who now put his helmet back on. "I have cleaning up to do," The Red Dragon Emperor replied as he took flight towards the other remaining Old Satan faction forces. It's Issei senpai. Gasper said as the Grimoire's king appeared. That means he must have defeated the leader. Asia said, making the others rejoice. Well, what would you expect from our new king? Akeno said with once again a smile on her face. Everyone. Clear the area. I'm going to wipe them all out with one attack. Issei said as he raised his palm up to the sky. Yes, my king. They all yelled as they obeyed Issei's command. Hey, isn't that the security up there? One of the rebels said, pointing up to the sky. Impossible. Lord Euclid was fighting him. No way he defeated Lord Euclid. Wait a second. He's up to something. Everybody run. The opposing team began to fall back as soon as they saw the giant sphere of destruction raised high above Issei's head in the palm of his hand. Dragon King's Oblivion. Issei yelled as he launched his supernova bomb magical dragon attack on the remaining forces. Issei's other newly formed move, like Ria's, possessed the same destructive power. However, it was much faster and instantly imploded the minute it hit the ground. The blast site was so vast, all of the retreating treasonous demons were incinerated within an instant. Issei touched the ground once again and deactivated his armor. Falling into the arms of his friends where they were there ready to catch him. Great job, Issei-kun. Thanks to you, not only did we not lose any of our precious friends, but we can live to see the next day. Akeno said as she and everyone else held him in their arms. Still, it's hard to believe that Issei-kun single-handedly ended this conflict. Surzicha said, coming to greet them with phoenix tears. It's not hard to believe at all, Lord Surzichas. Kiba said, making Surzichas nod. The Grimoires carried both Rias and the unconscious savior of the underworld back to the castle, where they would rest and afterwards resume their party for yet another reason. Chapter 49, The Master and His Servant. Ria's POV. My name is Rias Grimoire. I am a former third-year student at Kuo Academy, as I have now graduated and moved on towards college, where I will continue. That's right, I am the daughter of the famous noble family of devils, the Grimoires. I am a high-class devil and the king. Oops, I mean former king. Let me start again. I am now queen of Issei Haidu's peerage. After what may have been the underworld's most catastrophic and deadly civil war, I lost my authority and power of a king. To be more precise, my powers were taken from me by the enemy, along with what nearly cost me my life. My body began to turn cold and my vision suddenly began to fade. I was going to die there all alone, and I was about to break my promise to the one I cared for the most. I gave him my word that I would never let him be alone ever again, and here I was about to die in solitude and leave my Issei to battle these monsters on his own. The tears welled up inside me with no exit to flood out as my body lay still and lifeless. The thought of dying there was just pure torture, but I refused to give up hope. And then, when my heart was just about to beat its last ever rhythm, I felt my body ascend to a bright crimson light. My hearing suddenly returned to me and I could hear the man I love. His voice, his gentle warm words as he summoned my soul and body back to the world of the living. My body began to instantly heat up as if more coal had been thrown onto the fire inside of me. My eyes, still barely able to see, saw his face the moment my vision began to adjust. The moment I saw his signature smile, my heart began to beat once again. And as I looked deeply into his hazel eyes, a mighty dragon roared within my heart and soul. Screaming out, "This man is my master. He is my king and I am his loyal and loving queen." And I felt my life restored, but my consciousness still faded. My Issei turned this battle completely around, restoring both morale and strength to the defenders of hell as he effortlessly defeated and captured Euclid Lucifuge, my supposed brother-in-law. My sister-in-law Graphia is being kept inside the castle because of Euclid's ties with the old Satan faction coming to light. To avoid her being in any danger, she will stay there until it all dies down. It has been a week since that battle for our lives. And to my disappointment and worries, Issei is still sleeping off the effects of his sudden promotion to king and high demon class. Thanks to both Ajuka's mutated queen piece and Issei's overwhelming power, I still possess all of my magical power and also possess the ability to improve my powers and raise them to even greater heights. Despite how much I wanted to stay by his side, I have been forced by both my father and my brother to attend college. Due to their reasons that if I were to not attend on the first day, my reputation as an exceptional student would be ruined. However, my heart and mind are both at ease knowing full well that Issei is being taken care of by everyone else in my absence due to the school holidays taking place at Kuo Academy. However, this also makes me envious of the other girls who get to remain by Issei's side while I am so far apart from him. That reminds me, we still haven't decided on my replacement as president of the Occult Research Club. Oh well, we have plenty of time to decide that. My new college campus is a great distance from Kuo Academy and my home. This means that sneaking out during breaks would become rather difficult to achieve. I check my phone once again as I head off towards my next lecture and there is still no word from the others on Issei's condition. I wander through the corridors alone because of Akeno's timetable being slightly different to my own. Right now as I approach my last class, Akeno is inside her clubroom with her fellow classmates, who decided to join Akeno's Japanese tea ceremony club, which became quite popular in no time at all. Akeno has been at this college a week longer than I have, so I'm still not familiar with most of the students who go here. Well, on the exception of my former third-year classmates who have evidently spread my entrance to the site. Once again I walk through the halls of an establishment with many onlookers staring at me with perverted gazes. It makes me feel uncomfortable when I remember that Issei will no longer be able to remain by my side whilst I study here. It's almost like before I met Issei and I put up with this on a daily basis. At least when I was with Issei, many men would avert their eyes from me when they felt the intimidating aura that my Issei gave off as he stayed on alert right beside me. Many gentlemen callers pestered me as I finally exited my last lecture and I made it my mission to escape them so I could teleport away from it all. But as I turned down offer after offer, one man in particular was really persistent and seemed to not possess the ability of hearing my words. He gave me the creeps and gave off the same sort of vibe I felt off of Razor. This man's name was Sebastian Goodridge, and despite my constant rejections of his invitations, he still followed me as I exited the campus's grounds. "Come on, Riaz, I insist you accompany me for dinner. My father's restaurant's cuisine is to die for and I'm certain you will enjoy its elegance," Sebastian said as I clearly showed no interest. "I'm very sorry, but I have to be heading home," I said trying to escape. Sebastian suddenly grabbed my hand making me slightly irritated. "I insist you accompany me, Riaz Gremory, any girl would kill to dine with me," Sebastian said as his grip suddenly tightened. "Like I said suddenly finding my voice interrupted by what sounded like the squeals of girls. "Kaya. Who is that hunk on the motorbike?" one of the females said as a vehicle took a sudden skid outside of the college gates. "Don't tell me that's..." another girl said making me look towards where the commotion was coming from. The mysterious motorcyclist suddenly removed his helmet and the moment his helmet was gone, my heart began to beat at a rapid rate. "No way. It's Kuo's prince. Issei Haidu," one of the girls said showing her friends a picture of Issei at the sports festival. "I've heard of him. Wow, what's he doing here?" another girl said as Issei walked towards me and pulled me into his arms. "How was your first day, Arias?" Issei said to me as he embraced me warmly. Issei was wearing a crimson and black leather bike jacket with red trousers. On the handlebars of his bike hung his dragon helmet which he recently removed to show me his handsome face and heartwarming smile. Issei's transport was one of the presents he was gifted by my brother at Issei's one-year anniversary party. Currently, Issei's bike was an obsidian black with a giant red European dragon on both sides of it. But this bike also held a special power within its unusual manufacturing. Issei could, by linking his boosted gear with it, can change it into any form or color he so desired. "Issei," was all I could say at this point. So many words of gratitude were trying their hardest to come out of me, but I could only say his name with love as I welcomed his warmth. "I missed you, Riaz," Issei said to me making my cheeks redden and my tears stream. "Hey. Who do you think you are, peasant?" Sebastian said to my fiancé making me want to kick him right in the baby maker for disgracing my love so terribly. "Who am I?" Issei said making me suddenly await his words. Would he really declare it right here in front of everyone? "I'm Riaz Gremory's fiancé," Issei said making all of the girls scream in excitement and a certain gentleman caller irritated. "That reminds me, Issei, why are you here?" I asked suddenly, the thought occurring to me. "Why am I here, you ask?" "I'm here to take you home, of course, Riaz," Issei said making me smile. "Hey, wait a second. Nobody takes girls away from me when I invite them to dinner," Sebastian said, inviting a little of Issei's possessive personality. "Well, I hate to break it to you, Sebastian, was it? But you're not taking my woman anywhere today or any day. Now kindly let go of Ria's shoulder before I show you what happens to those who dare to lay a hand on my girl so nonchalant," Issei said making Sebastian angry but back off. Issei lifted me into a bridal style and placed me on the back of his motorcycle. "Let's go home, my queen. Your chariot awaits," Issei said to me as he placed his spare helmet on my head. I nodded and wrapped my arms around his bulky and muscular body as he placed on his crimson dragon helmet and revved the engine. The bike roared to life and shot down the street in a matter of seconds, leaving my persistent pest in its dust with his anger boiling and his mouth agape. As the bike took off down the road, I felt the wind blowing through my hair and the feeling I so longed for since I reawakened. Freedom. I felt free. Free as a bird that had just been released from its cage. Issei's bike, now clearly out of sight from bystanders or witnesses, suddenly took off down the tarmac with mind-boggling speed, which would be invisible to the common naked eye. And to my greatest joy, we were now home. Issei and I returned to our room, which, out of the kindness and consideration of our time apart from one another, everyone decided to give us some time alone to catch up. As I stared at Issei's naked form whilst he changed in front of my eyes, I felt as if this was a private show dedicated just for me. And to make matters awkward, my heart and body longed for his touch on my naked skin. Normal POV. Issei and Riaz sat down side by side to each other on the bed. Ria's head was leaning against Issei's shoulder and Issei continuously stroked her hair. The lovers didn't say a word as they quietly enjoyed each other's company. Riaz snuggled up to Issei as much as she possibly could to embrace all of the warmth that she missed out on for so many days that she felt she would die without it by her side. The ruined princess's heartbeat thumped loudly inside her chest as her body continuously became hotter and hotter. The crimson-haired teen could not stand her deprivation any longer. With a mischievous grin, Ria's hand began to trail down Issei's abdomen. Lemon scene. Riaz, what are you doing? Issei said as Riaz began to unfasten his belt enabling her self-access. You've worked so hard for me Issei and you've gotten so tense as a result. Especially here. Riaz said as she pulled down his trousers and boxers. Leaving his secret compartment on full display. Let me massage it for you. Riaz said as she began to move her hand up and down his built-up sexual urges. Riaz Issei weakly replied as he fell helpless to her touch. You like that do you? Well then, how about this instead? Riaz said as she moved her hair to the side as she opened her mouth and began to give Issei an even more in-depth massage with her mouth. Riaz kissed the tip of Issei's member and licked it from top to bottom before inserting him fully into her mouth, wrapping its form with her tongue. Riaz you don't have to. Issei replied unable to control his queen. Do you like it master? Riaz said making Issei shocked to hear those words. Still coming to terms with being her master now. Riaz, it feels too good. Any more and I'll. Issei said making Riaz grin as she worked harder to please her Issei. Hee how about this instead? You love my breasts right? Riaz said as she removed her top and placed Issei's blade in between her soft boobs. Riaz. I can't take it. Issei said as he felt the climax of his massage fast approaching. It's okay my king, let it all out on me. Riaz said as Issei's delicious liquid soaked her soft skin, leaving the ruined princess hungering for more. Riaz wiped off some of Issei's white liquid off her face and so daringly inserted the insides of her dragon into her mouth with a satisfactory expression. That's it Issei, I want you to fill me up with your warmth. This taste is for my lips alone. Riaz said as she licked her lips and proceeded to go down on him again. Riaz. Issei said as he effortlessly fell victim to Riaz's tongue once again. I have to clean it for you master. As your queen, it is my duty to take care of you. As you have taken care of me for so long now. Riaz said as she cleaned his member with her tongue, not daring to miss a single drop of his warm essence. As I thought, it's not good enough. Riaz said as she pounced on Issei, his back hitting the bed. Riaz took off her skirt, rubbing her underwear up against Issei's boosted equipment as she took possession of Issei's mouth. Matching her rhythm with his as she absorbed him into a passionate dance between their tongues. All of a sudden, Issei closed his eyes and reopened them within an instant. Now gazing at his woman with a less resistant look. Issei turned the tables on Riaz, becoming the hunter as opposed to the prey. Riaz lay flat on her back, stunned by Issei's counterattack. Aren't you getting a little too cocky Riaz? Issei said as he made her cry out in ecstasy with his own massaging technique. Riaz lay powerless on the bed. Trapped against Issei's skillful and invigorating touch. He glided his hands across Riaz's bare chest and massaged her breasts, making the red-haired teen cry out in pleasure. Issei, Riaz said as she felt the balance of power shift. Issei slipped his tongue into her mouth as he slid off her black panties down to her ankles. Taking his tongue out, Issei removed his queen's underwear completely and forced the pleasure-filled Riaz to remain on her back as he opened her most sensitive area. Issei, please, I can't take any more. I need you inside of me. Riaz said making Issei grin. Are you trying to give your king orders Riaz? Issei said as began to lick the outside of Riaz's pussy and pinch her G-spot. Of course not Issei, but I. Riaz said being interrupted by another sudden wave of pleasure. Then this is an order from your king. You are not to request me to enter you until I say otherwise. Issei said as he carried on licking her opening whilst he slid 2 fingers inside of her. Issei. It feels so good. Please more. Riaz said as Issei granted her please. The Red Dragon Emperor removed his hand from Riaz's insides and placed his open palm on her. Boosted gear gift Issei said, causing Riaz's body to be flooded with an overwhelming new level of pleasure. Riaz moaned repeatedly as Issei resumed his fingering and licking, granting Riaz the greatest orientation she could ever dream of. Riaz's breathing became louder as Issei stood above her and spread her legs further apart. Riaz couldn't help but get excited as the moment she waited for seemed to be about to happen. Issei grinned as he rubbed his secret weapon against Riaz's special place in a teasing fashion. Issei no. Please just stick your blade inside me. Riaz said making Issei grin again. What did I say about making requests my queen? Issei said as he removed his touch from her completely. No please master, I apologize for my greed for your touch. Ria said, making Issei kiss her again as he continuously rubbed himself against her. Ria's moaned, continuously feeling a strong satisfaction as Issei once again made her feel like his servant. Issei relieved Ria's of her impatience when he suddenly plunged his cock inside of the eagerly waiting queen. "Ah yes. I have missed your touch so much. With all of the chaos we have had to endure and live through, I have yearned for this feeling with you so much." Ria said as she felt Issei go in and out of her at a rapid pace. "The wait is over, my queen. I will relieve you of all of your suffering," Issei said to her as he began to increase his pace and massage her boobs again. Ria's felt pure passion and warmth as Issei twisted her nipple and bit down on the other. However, Ria's hunger for Issei's boosted dick overran her mind. Issei suddenly placed Ria's on her side and lifted her leg up towards the ceiling. This enabled him deeper access to her core and much more sensational thrusts into his most treasured woman. "Yes, Issei. Yes. Faster. Deeper." Ria screamed, getting deep into the experience. Issei granted Ria's request and picked up the pace, making her love juices drip from her now satisfied pussy. Ria's found her vagina much more sensitive now as Issei continuously fucked her despite her climaxing. The ruined princess moaned louder, taking advantage of the empty household to scream out her enjoyment. Issei with a thunderous roar coomed inside of the Crimson Queen, who now breathed rapidly on the stained sheets. Ria's eyes twinkled as she pulled herself up into a kneeling position and latched onto Issei's blade with her mouth, continuously sucking on its skin as she craved for more. The Crimson Princess massaged her breasts as she tasted the liquid which remained dripping on Issei's boosted weapon. Issei pinched Ria's nipples, forcing her to cry out and release him from her grasp. Issei pushed the ecstatic and overjoyed girl back down onto the bed with her cute and naked bottom facing him. Ria's felt pleasure run through her body the instant Issei struck her behind with the palm of his hand. "Don't forget who the master is now, Ria's," Issei said as began to finger her whilst his other hand struck her butt again. "I apologize, Issei, I just want to make you feel as good as you make me feel," Ria said with a smile and reddened cheeks. "Don't worry, Ria's, your technique and abilities are more than enough to make your king overly satisfied. I crave your touch as well. But don't get greedy and remember that it is the king's main responsibility to satisfy his queen as well," Issei said as he entered inside her for the second time. A few minutes after Issei entered inside Ria's dripping pussy, the Red Dragon Emperor cunningly pulled her back onto his lap and pushed his raging friend right inside her as she now fell victim to his energetic hip movements. Ria's and Issei began to passionately kiss again, with their tongues dancing to the same rhythm as they both bounced in enjoyment. "Please, my king, allow me to serve you," Ria said as she pushed Issei onto his back and rode him like a cowgirl, taking full responsibility of the movement. Issei played with the happy girl's breasts as he moved up and down on his continuously growing blade. Issei's blade and Ria's scabbard continuously worked in unity as they warmly embraced each other. Issei and Ria's moaned in unison as they both neared their climaxing stage. Just as Ria's reached the finishing line before the Red Dragon Emperor, Issei gave her one last ride as he lifted and pressed her up against the headboard and her naked skin against the wall. Ria's felt Issei drill inside of her with a powerful force. Ria's and Issei were in paradise, celebrating their reunion with one another as they both, Ria's and Issei, once again finished their race to the finish, both coming across the line at the same time. Lemon scene over. Issei and Ria's embraced each other under the covers. The loving couple didn't do much after their enjoyable and intense workout. Nope, they just felt each other's warmth as their naked skin brushed up against them both. They both just enjoyed the peace and quiet as times of peace, whether it be short or long, returned to them once again. And as they both drifted off to sleep in a hugging state, they both said this to each other: "For you are my queen. And you are my king. I will always remain by your side and love you for all of eternity. My Issei, my Rias, for you are now my master, and you are now my servant. I will love and cherish you. I will always protect you. And I promise that I will never let you be alone again. That I will make all of your dreams come true. For you will soon be my bride. And you will be my groom. And we will live for each other and never die alone. For you are now my queen. And you are forever and will always be my king. I love you, Rias. And I love you, Issei." The end. This is the end of the video. If you enjoyed the story, then hit the like button and comment your favorite part, but for now, see you all in the next video.